Name's Nick Matthews. Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Matthews. I'm a neurologist, behavioral psychologist, and I'd like to help you. Enhancement of my confidence from my friends in the US for me to do these. So forgive me if I look a little bit nervous today. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about breakthrough, what breakthrough is, and why you need to do it. While I'm doing the talk as well, I'm just going to click down and check to see if there's any questions. If you have any questions whatsoever, please just fire them through. Okay, I'm just doing as I said, I'm just doing a check. Can anyone tell me whereabouts in the world you are from? Just put a little question in that box. I just want to make sure that I am live, because a couple of weeks ago I was talking to myself for about 5 minutes before I realized that I'd connected to I'd connected the wrong button. So a bit of a technophobe here. If someone could just give me a tick to say that I am on board. Patrick in Canada, thank you very much. Good. That's made me feel so much better. I thought I was talking to myself there. Anyway, breakthrough. What's it all about? Where does it start? Well, actually, my first breakthrough session was about 35 years ago when I was in the Air Force, and I learned about what was really conditioning, how we become conditioned, how we set our neural pathways in a particular way, and how those chemicals within those neural pathways effectively control our life. I'm just taking, so we've got, just a quick check on the question. So we've got Texas, we've got Las Vegas, New York, South Africa. Great, guys, we're all coming through. Brilliant. I'm on board. Thanks, Janet. I'm on board. That helps me so much. Right. So anyway, conditioning. What's it all about? Well, actually, from birth, I mentioned this. I think last week or the week before, and it's about how our what I call psychological filters are set. You see, we develop a way of doing things, a way of action, a way of walking, a way of talking. Our physiology gets set in a particular way. And that's because, as you probably understand, because we copy the value beliefs of our family, our friends, our relatives. And we therefore start to limit the opportunities that we have because we block out opportunities. We block out different ways of seeing, and as a result, a lot of us end up like our parents, like our friends, and we wonder why we achieve what we have achieved, and perhaps we need to achieve a little bit more. And this is all to do with, as I said, your psychological filters, in that you delete, you distort, and you generalize information coming in through your five senses, through your eyes, through your smell, through your hearing, through your touch, through your taste, and you develop a way of being. And this is great for what we want, but eventually, as you start getting into your 20s and 30s and 40s, or even further on in life, like myself in my 50s, you start to wonder: is this what life's about? Why am I bouncing against a glass ceiling? Why am I not achieving what I want? I desperately want it. It's almost, people tell me they can taste it in their spit. They want it, but they just don't know how to get through that door to the next level. And as a result of those psychological filters, what we do is we produce particular chemicals in a particular way. So in your frontal cortex, you will produce chemicals such as serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine. And these are happiness chemicals. These make you feel good. However, because your emotions are attached to events, and we see negative things throughout our life, these negative things build up. And through the amygdala, and you'll have heard me talk about the amygdala hijack and the fight or flights situation issue, what happens is we start to get stressed over different things, perhaps over lack of achievement, perhaps over issues that we can't deal with. For instance, have you ever come across the same problem time and time again? When I work with people in clinic, they tell me, I packed that job in because I couldn't get on with that guy because he was always looking at me a particular way. I just didn't like it. And then what happens 6 months later? They move jobs and it's a totally different guy they're working with, but they're getting into the same situation because you see, these problems will keep following you around in life until you actually come up with a solution. So what's breakthrough? Well, breakthrough is actually looking at your conditioning, looking at why your value belief systems are giving you what you are getting at this moment in time, and perhaps understanding what it is exactly that you want out of life. And as you get older in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, there's all sorts of baggage as well. We have emotional baggage, we have relationships issues, we have personality issues, we have income issues, perhaps we've got spiritual issues, either because we are trying to make that spiritual connection and we can't, or we're starting to lose faith. And this is what my breakthrough program and what I think breakthrough is all about. Now, in a minute, I'm going to go on to how we go through that particular breakthrough session. But if you just give me a second, I'm just going to look at some of these questions that are coming through from you guys. So we've got Johannesburg. Oh my goodness, Estref in Albania. Yes, I've got one there from Mateen, who wants to ask a question. Please fire away, Mateen. Hazel, brilliant in the UK. Von Switzerland, wow. India, Philippines, we've got Italy. Guys, this is brilliant. If you've got any questions, just fire them on and I'll try and answer whilst I can. And if I can't answer them while I'm online at this moment in time, I will promise to get back to you and answer these within the next day. So I've got from Western New York, Lynn, you take care. You guys are really at the front of this coronavirus thing, as is everyone. We've got from Italy, we've got from Spain. You guys take care. Look after yourselves, and together we will break through this particular crisis. And if you think about it, just before I go on to the breakthrough, how, if you think and take a macro look at where we are as a race, as a human population on this particular planet, because of our thinking, because of the filters that we have, and because of the way we do business, we have created a climate change situation. We're burning too much fossil fuels. We're burning down and chopping down the lungs of the world in Brazil and other particular areas of the world. Now it appears that we as humans have brought about this COVID pandemic. We need to think about things differently, both as a race, but particularly as individuals. Why do we do a particular thing in a particular way? And it's by understanding your neurology and adjusting that neurology to suit what it is that you exactly want. So let's move on to the breakthrough. Well, a breakthrough, I either do it as an individual, one to one, and that takes about a day. It's very, very intense. It can be done online. If it's done online, though, it'll take a couple of days. And I also do it in a group. It's got to be a very small, tight group that can obviously get along with each other. Now, what we try and do in Breakthrough, there's about 9 different steps that you need to go through. And of course, you can read upon this and you can add to what I'm saying now and what I'm going to be saying in the future. And you can attempt your own breakthrough. And it can be very, very successful. The first thing you need to do is to baseline your current position in a number of areas. And I call this carrying out multiple inventory checks. So I would, and you should, take an objective at the typality you are. Do you really understand who you are and how you react to different people in different situations? And we can therefore learn about ourselves. And really, this initial step is learning about ourselves. So we do a personality inventory. I do a relationship inventory. And sometimes these things can be quite harsh. We've just got to be open to our self-criticism, but at the same time, self-love, so that we can carry ourselves through these particular steps. We also do what I call it EI, emotional intelligence or emotional quotient inventory check. And through that, we look at our awareness, both internal and external. And these questions, these inventories, really you're opening your heart to yourself to understand and baseline where you are. And following these inventory checks, we get a position of where we are in particular aspects of your life. I mean, you may wish that you only want to do a breakthrough in one aspect of your life. I rarely find that is as successful as looking at a holistic view of your life and where you are. Because what happens is, if you touch something on one side, something else pops out somewhere else. So it's important to consider things in the whole. Once we've done an inventory check and we know where our baseline is, we know where our position is, we can then decide with a blank sheet, what is it we actually want? Where's your journey going to take you? Why did you come to this decision to do a breakthrough? What were the concerns that you had that pushed you so hard at that tipping point to actually either seek self-help or seek someone's help, such as myself? What is it that you're looking for? And you've got to be quite honest on this. As I said, these breakthroughs can be quite intense. So it's extremely, extremely important to know where it is that you want to go. And you've got to know this in detail across a number of areas of your life. So that might be career, wealth, relationships, love, spirituality, health. You mark yourself on these particular scales, and then you decide which areas that you want to improve, which areas that you think you need to move through this next particular level. However, we don't try and attack these things all at once. We do one at a time. We get one area to a particular level and we move on to the next and the next. Now, saying this, it might seem as though it takes long, but as I said, once you're doing it face to face, it takes about 7-8 hours. Online, it might take 2 days, because we've got to have some breaks. We've got to understand ourselves that much better. And at the same time, what we're looking for is 2 things. We're looking to break our conditioning, so open up our filters and release some more of these positive chemicals, the serotonin, the oxytocin, and the dopamine. And then what we're trying to do is to cross-reference that against our position, against our baseline, so that we know what it is that we've got to do to move and blast through this glass ceiling. Now, so next step, we baselined, We've started to break our conditioning because we're understanding who we are. Following that, we look at the areas where we want to improve, and we're deciding on the goals. Where is it we want to be? In what areas, and when have we got to do it? This is where this is absolutely critical. We've got to be open with ourselves, and we've got to start with a blank sheet of paper. Because what happens is people will set an objective or a goal, and it's based on their current circumstance. We've got to move into a place, into a space where we can just dream with a blank sheet of paper. We'll do an ecology check later, and we'll discuss what an ecology check is in later sessions. We've got to get ourselves into a position where you're starting with a blank sheet of paper. So it starts off with you. So we ignore relationship, we ignore career, we ignore finance, we ignore everything. What is it that you want? Once we've got an idea of where you want to go, we can start mapping out your journey, the journey that you need to take to move forward. And we'll do this in a number of ways. And the sort of ways that I do this is we will be doing some visualization. We will take you to a place, to a space in your unconscious where we will be looking at what it feels like, what it tastes like. How will you know when you get there? This is quite intense, and some people find it a little bit spooky, but it involves very, very deep unconscious relaxation to disconnect from your conditioning. And most of your conditioning is in the cognitive thinking that you do on a day-to-day basis, because your filters are here in the front of your head. What I want to do is take you to the unconscious, the subconscious, to the back, where the conditioning can't impact on what it is that you want. It's like removing these lenses, removing these filters to give you a clear idea of where it is that you want to do, where you want to be. And once you've decided, we can come back and we'll do what I call an ecology check. Well, what if? What if you did this? If you've got kids, how will that work? If you've got in a relationship, will that work? If you've got financial issues, how will that work? But we come up with a particular solution, and this solution is laser focused. And the reason it's got to be laser focused is because if you start your journey off on point A and you move, and if you're 1 degree off, you'll be off by miles. Can you imagine the Pilgrim Fathers when they left Plymouth way back in the 1600s? And if they were a couple of degrees off course, they could have ended up in the Arctic, they could have ended up in South America, but because they were focused on where it is that they wanted to be, and they had a guiding star. Now, a guiding star it's a metaphor, but it's also a physical science thing, in that they knew where the North Star was, and therefore they could navigate. But it was also a metaphor. Their guiding star was the life that they went to run away from the persecution they had from the feudal system of control back in ancient ancient England. So there was two things. There was the science that guided them across a particular process to meet the point where they wanted to be. And then there was the metaphor, the understanding that, and the feeling and the spirituality that they had to move to find a new life, to be where it is that they wanted to be. I'm just going to take a little break, see if I've got any more questions that we've got. Be safe yourself, guys. Lots of be safe things. Philippines, Atlanta, Jeff Swindells, what are you talking about? Listen, Jeff, open your heart, and if you don't like it, you can always switch off. Karen, hey Nick. Okay, we've got lots of fantastic remarks. One or two not so fantastic, but that's great, because people have different ways of being, and people have different questions. And actually, when they're ready, and hopefully they will be ready in this particular lifetime to understand what I'm talking about, then perhaps they can make that particular journey. Right, I promised that I would only be on for about 20 minutes this week. I don't want to push. I've told you a lot. I don't really want to overdo it this week. Next week, what I'll do is I'll move on to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth stages of breakthrough, and at the same time, I will start giving you some things, some tools that you can work with. In the meantime, please, if you've got any questions, message me. I'm going to put some links down when this is finished. In fact, if you just bear with me, guys, as I said, I'm a bit of a technophobe here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some links in there we go. I put some links in which talks about, I'll give you some more information about breakthrough. Now, what's important as well. Now, I mentioned my book last week, Become Unstoppable. Look, this is the baseline. This is the background information about how you work and how you can start to clear some of this conditioning. Now, I use what I call neural hacks to hack your neurology, to try and open up your filter system, the way you act, the way you walk, the way you talk, etc. Now, I'm very much into helping people, and it's a very difficult time for everyone at this moment. And so from midnight Pacific time tonight for 24 hours, you can get a copy of my book, ebook, for free. Obviously, I prefer if you get paperback, but I wanted to make this available to everyone. So please help yourself within that. Now, also what I'd like to mention is that every Saturday with Zane and Jeff out in Arizona, we do what we call Ignite Your Life course. And if you'd like to join us on that, the links down there as well. And if you want some more information about how you can break through, there's a link to my blog there. For now, though, thank you so much for listening. Any questions, please push them through. I'll answer the questions as soon as I can, but no later than 24 hours from now. Grab the ebook if you can, and it should help you out with understanding your neurology and how you have become to be who you are and why you are today. So for now, I'm signing off. Stay safe, take care, and love to you all. Thank you so much for calling in, listening in. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.